Hello friends, I'm Amanda Barr.
And I'm Rebecca Lou Brennan, and welcome to Dance Principles United, the podcast.
Together, we are passionate about helping studio owners with the business of running their studio.
Join us as we talk everything from marketing, systems, studio culture, motherhood, life, and everything in between.
This is the Dance Principles United podcast.
Well, hi friends, it's Beck here from the Dance Principles United podcast. I am here joined by the lovely Amanda. How are you, Amanda?
I am so good. We're doing a big day of podcasting today. It's so much fun. I always love spending the day with you.
So fun. We just had a nice lunch together.
Tough.
Always great. And yeah, we were just chatting over lunch about how many people already are getting ready for concert. And it's crazy
Comes up
because
quick.
I know. Like I am getting ready for concert in the studio, and we are, talking about the themes and the music and finalizing all of that. And it's just like, it gets so crazily quick. Exactly what you're saying. I can't believe it's already August.
I know, crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. We wanted to chat about, because so many people are talking about it, and we, constantly kind of see a few mistakes from studio owners. And what we want for our concerts is obviously to be a great celebration for our students, but what it should be working towards is making sure that the majority of those kids re-enroll for next year. It is our lasting thing of the year for most of us. Most people, it's the big, end of year celebration, and it's whether after that it's when they decide whether they're going to re-enroll, whether they're going to tell their friends what a great experience it was, or are they going to tell their friends, oh, that was so hard, that was such a drama. Don't you think it's such a big thing?
It's crazy, and I keep self-reflecting on this, and I've changed my concert so much since I first started, because I think you've got to think about it from the parent perspective.
Absolutely.
I never did concerts from the parent perspective ever. I always did it ego-based, and then wondered why people left and couldn't understand that. And I just think as well, like our attention span is so much shorter now.
Absolutely.
And people are so much busier. Than even 20 years ago.
Oh, than even 10 years ago, right? It's crazy. Like life has changed and people expect so much more in terms of the entertainment value and the professionalism. But yeah, as you said, their attention spans are like very short thanks to TikTok life, it's crazy. People just want like these small things. And so it's super important that we think about concert, not just as a ego-driven. And when we say that, we mean that in the nicest of ways because we've done the same thing. Ego-driven means it's like, oh, this beautiful creative, and because I love this costume and this is so, oh my God, this dance is really edgy and this is this and this is that, and stop thinking about it like that it's for us or for our peers, and think of it as, number one, a retention exercise and a marketing exercise that's going to bring more students to your studio, and also a money-making exercise as well, because concert, in my eyes, and how I've always said it, is it should pay for your 6-week closure and then some, because it's a lot of work. Like it should be a profit and it should be a money-making exercise.
Oh, absolutely. And, like you said in the first place, it also should be a way for parents to then want to come back to your studio. And if they have an awful time, not just at the concert but before the concert.
Absolutely. In the lead up, because otherwise they put it in their mindset before they even walk in.
Then they're definitely not going to come back, and they'll do something simpler and easier. And, I said it in the last podcast, I'm going to say it now, not everyone appreciates and loves dance like we do. They don't though.
They don't.
And they don't. We get so upset when they leave, but they don't seem the same value in it.
Yes, because they don't know what they don't know, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely. Exactly. We put together a little, I think it was 11 golden rules for concert planning that you need to be thinking of. And we wanted to kind of go through a few of those today, do we think?
Yeah, I think so. So the first one, Amanda, is fewer payments, happier parents.
Absolutely. And this really comes from asking people to open their wallet too many times. It pisses parents off. And to be honest, it's not always about the amount, but how many times they have to open that wallet or, put in the details or, obviously we're not all pulling out cash these days, but whatever it is and actually make a payment. It's that interesting thing because I was really thinking about this. Our school is like an all-inclusive school, right? We don't pay for, excursions, camps, anything like that. It's all paid for in our fees.
Right.
Even things like, my daughter gets on a bus to go to sport once a week. I didn't even know that. We didn't sign, because we signed a note at the beginning of the year. It's all paid for. There's nothing to do. So it's just that thing, right? And it's so nice to have that. However, they recently, 2 weeks in a row, had fundraisers where we had to buy stuff, right? It was a pie drive one week and another week it was a book week donation or whatever it was, right? And there were small amounts of money, very small amounts of money, $10 here, $13 there. But God, that pisses me off opening my wallet again. If they'd asked me for $50 up front for all of those things, no problems. Asking me twice for little bits of money, it's annoying, right?
It's so annoying, and it's it's an extra thing that you have to do then. You've got to go into the parent portal and you've got to pay the money.
Yep.
And I hate that as well.
Yes. And something else you can forget as a parent.
Yes. I would much rather just pay once, have it over and done with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so when we're talking about asking parents to open the wallets, what we mean by that is quite often we see studio owners that ask for costume payments. Obviously, got to be done, right? Then they ask for maybe a concert day fee. Then they ask for photo money or DVD money or download money or whatever that is. Oh, and by the way, you need to buy stockings. Come in and buy your $10 stockings. Oh, and I forgot to tell you that you also now need to get this lipstick. That's $20. Here you go. All of these things just means that they've got to open their wallet so many times. So really think about how many times you're asking your parents to open the wallet and see what you can combine, into a package, like a concert performer package that includes their DVD, their photos, the stock, whatever it is, the rehearsal day fee, all of those things. You can have so much happier parents.
So much happier, and it just makes it so much easier. And I think that's the key. And God, I am even thinking about things now do we really want to make parents buy 5 or 6 costumes? Can you do those 3-in-1? I've seen some great 3-in-1 costumes now where they have the ballet skirt, then they have the unitard that can be for acro, and then they put the jazz skirt on. It's just, it's easier for your backstage. It's easier for your parents.
Yes.
I actually think you could then put more of a markup on that.
Yes.
You know what I mean by that? You could put a $50 instead of a $15 on each different costume.
Absolutely.
And just make it simpler.
Yes. People like simple things. They like one payment, even if it's larger. And I think that's so, so important. And I feel like a lot of studios also break up their payments too small, right? I was having this thought, I was sitting the other day at Flip Out.
Right.
As you do. I was working at Flip Out. I'd gone there with 4 kids and me. I'd paid all their entries. I'd bought a coffee. They were all about to hit me up for a milkshake, all of those things. Nearly every one of your dance parents does that quite often on a Saturday, in the school holidays, pretty much every day. And I wasn't walking out of that place without spending $120.
Easily.
We haven't even gotten to lunch yet.
Yeah.
And I so often see studio owners breaking up payments like that. And I think that's a really, why? If a costume is $80 or the fee is $80, why are you doing it 2 installments of $40? Why are you asking them to open their wallet? I do understand if it's a $1,000 costume bill.
100%.
I get that. It should be broken up, and I think that's good for budgeting. But if we're talking anything sub 100, don't split it into multiple things, because I guarantee you those parents, that's a normal part of their week. If they've got a family of 4 and they're getting Domino's on a Saturday night, it's $100. Domino's doesn't say, would you like to pay that off over 2 weeks? It's that thing. So I really think you're actually pissing the parents off by asking them more times. You're creating more admin work and more headache for yourself. just do it one lump sum and don't overcomplicate it, I guess.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so fewer payments, happier parents.
Yes.
The next one is take the work off parents' plates.
Absolutely.
And can I just say, I remember when I was growing up dancing, my mum had to sew the costumes. She had to put the sequins on the costumes. I vividly remember her downstairs in our laundry swearing and carrying on and going crazy because she's trying to make costumes at 10 o'clock at night.
Yes.
And we just shouldn't be like that anymore.
Absolutely
and look, back in
not.
the day, we didn't have costume companies that,
But a lot of people didn't dance because of that.
Oh, 100%. So, yeah, what do we think we can take off the parents?
Obviously sewing costumes. Number one,
Or sticking diamantes on costumes.
Even little things like don't ask your parents to sew elastic on a hat.
Yep.
Like, yes, I know they should all be able to do it, but it takes 2 seconds. Just do it all. Don't ask them to do it. It just pisses parents off, right? Like I think you should take all of those things, costumes off their plate. They should be given to them as like ready to go. The same as like running around for extras. Don't ask them to go, oh, so here's your costume, but by the way, you're going to need tan jazz tights and I don't sell them. You've got to go over to the dance shop, or you're going to need these special black fishnets or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
I don't sell them. So there's a dance shop. Here's the address. Go and get them from that. Like in 2025, no one should be doing that. You can all stock stockings. You can all get wholesale prices on them. All of those things. You can include it in the costume fee so that then it's not like, hey, and then you've got to do this extra work, because it's extra work on parents and people are like flat chat for time at the moment.
Yes, we're so big on giving our costumes out with absolutely every single thing in it that they need. And I'd rather mark the costume up and do that than try and
ask them to do those things. It's just
no
such
one
hard.
has time for that.
No one has time for that. The other things that you really need to be taking off the parents' plates is, anything really that requires them to do anything. So what I mean by that is, payments should be taken via direct debit if possible. Like, don't make them come in and pay you for that separately and, have to remember to do that. Oh, my gosh, my absolute pet peeve, opt-ins for concert.
Oh.
Signing a piece of paper, like anything like that. I'd be the mum that would just forget to sign it.
Oh, same. I always forget to sign things for my kids' school. I'm terrible with that.
See, that's what I started saying about my kids' school.
Yeah,
we sign one note at the beginning of the year.
That's such a game changer. I would sign the note right now for everything.
Yep.
Happy for all the things.
Absolutely, because you want to make it easy for parents and giving them an opportunity not to opt in. Like that's just saying, I don't want to do that. Like people don't know what they don't know.
Yep.
And I think it's just a chance for them to go, oh, no, I won't do that. Oh, I have to sign a note. That must be really serious and hard. Obviously, if people don't want to do the concert, you allow them to opt out. But you don't do an opt-in ever.
No.
Please don't ever do an opt-in. Such a bad choice.
Can I flip this and look at it a different way? Don't make it hard for their hair.
Oh, no.
Why are we doing these crazy, difficult hairstyles? Like, not every parent is capable of doing that.
Me, I can't braid. I don't know how to braid. Like, it's so hard.
I can't believe you don't know how to braid in your
Oh,
own studio.
it's a real problem. I could
is.
not braid. But, I couldn't cope with doing braids.
But also, difficult makeup. And I remember because I always used to make the sixes have makeup, right?
Yeah.
And then when BB was 6, I could not get makeup. Now she's obsessed with makeup, but I couldn't get makeup on that child's face. Like, it's actually hard. And especially because she's got a Chinese background. Do you know how hard it is to get mascara on, eyes that don't have the lashes that go up? Her lashes go
straight out. Yeah.
And then she's blinking and there's black all over her eyes. And it was just so hard.
Yes.
And I was like, why am I doing this? This is crazy to make parents go through this.
It's so hard. Exactly that. And it's just like, what can you do to make it a little bit easier for your parents? Every single thing that you're doing is like, is this easy for my parents or is this actually quite hard? Because every time you're making them do something hard, whether that's putting makeup on them, running around for stockings, remembering to find the note, to sign the note, to send it in, or to answer an email, or remember to go into the portal, or remember to drop into the studio and pay for something, you're pissing them off and it's making them less likely to want to do the concert, less likely for them to have a good experience, and they're already going to be angry by the time they get to concert day. So you've really just got to think about what can I do to make it easier for them.
It's letting go of the ego of things. That's really what it is. And I just want to give you a perfect example, okay? So for our preschool concert, we're doing different coloured costumes for different coloured days. The same costume, right? But Monday will be orange, for example. Tuesday will be blue, blah, blah. We have kids that come on 2 different days and do 2 different things. So my team said to me, are you going to have a problem that you potentially could have 8 blue kids on stage and 2 pink? Is that going to be an issue for you? Now, 10 years ago, Amanda, that would have been a massive issue for me.
Yes,
and
I'm sitting here having like a mild panic attack as you're saying that.
But why? Why is that so important?
Yeah, because no one cares.
No one cares. They're only looking at their own child.
Yeah.
We care.
It's not symmetrical.
Everything. But like, does it really matter in the scheme of things? And
absolutely.
That's the stuff you've got to let go of.
Absolutely.
You know, does it really matter if their hair is not in 10 braids with a, 6 little zigzag parts? Like, you know what I mean though?
Yeah.
And you've got to think about the journey of that. Like, I hate people that, even for comp, I'm like trying to simplify our hair so much now for comp, because I just think there are literally, sometimes those kids probably and parents have to get up at 5 a.m.
That was me last Sunday. Yep.
Like, how pissed off are you at 5 a.m. trying to do your child's hair?
We only
and
had
makeup?
buns, but it was still like 5 a.m.
It's a lot.
Absolutely. I had to do 2 girls'
Imagine if you
hair
had
and
to do
makeup.
3 girls' braids, Amanda.
Oh, it would not have happened, I tell you what. I had to do 2 girls' hair and makeup at 5, and then I did the other one when I arrived. But it's a lot for parents, and it's not a great experience. It doesn't make people love your brand, love your business. So what can you do to take things off their plate and make it a little bit simpler for the parents?
All right, talking costumes, simplifying your costume pricing. We've kind of talked about it a little bit, but
we have. If you are still a studio that has 8 and under jazz is $82.50, 10 and under jazz is $89, and then my grade 1 ballet class is $102, and then this class is so many different prices. You need to stop.
I'm laughing because that was me not that long ago.
Yes.
Probably 5 or 6 years ago I was totally doing that.
Absolutely. And I feel like studio owners do it with the best of intentions, because they don't want to because every costume costs different, I think.
Yes.
And so therefore they're we don't want to mark it up too much and, blah, 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 for all those reasons. However, what it actually is doing is just confusing the shit out of parents, because number one, they've then got to remember and calculate. I've got an $82.50 costume and a $101 costume, and then that other one is $34. They've got to calculate all these things.
Yep.
They've got to remember all their class names. They don't understand why their $101 costume isn't as good as their $82.50 costume. And quite possibly that's the case, because we know that different brands have different costs and, their shipping, and there's all those things that sometimes the $82 costume can look better than a $100 and something costume. It's just how it works. Sometimes we know that. The parents don't understand. So stop confusing your pricing. I think my feeling is 3 price points, absolute max.
We just do 1 now.
You do 1. I love it.
Yeah, we just do 1 for junior, 1 for senior.
Yes.
And that's it. So I think our junior's about 130 and our senior's about 150.
And then a preschool price?
Yes.
There you go. There's my 3. Preschool, junior, senior. Yeah. Absolutely.
True.
And I think that's how you should be doing it, is just, this is the price for, you could do junior, senior, preschool or whatever, or you could do ballet costumes are all X amount, jazz costumes are X amount, hip hop costumes, depending on whatever works for you, right?
Yeah.
Or everyone's the same amount. And I think that's really good for your budgeting.
Yep.
Takes a whole heap of admin work out. If you know that you're charging whatever, $100 for every costume, then you know that you want to look for costumes at a certain price point. You also know if you want to keep that price down as much, because your profit will be higher. But it's just, I think it just makes it so much easier for the admin. It makes it easier for parents. It makes it easier for you. Just don't over confuse it.
Yep, totally agree. And don't make them go and buy different coloured shoes because you think that's going to go better with the costume.
Absolutely not. Shoes are all one colour only. You choose a colour at your studio and you stick with it.
I just think we do we do things because that's what we've always done. in the past, or that's what our studio owner did, or you know, and it's not what's the fans first experience, is it?
No.
Not in any way, shape or form.
Absolutely.
All right, what about sell the experience, talking about fans first, not just the cost?
Absolutely. You know what I see from some studios when I've read through information packets? Like a paragraph explanation about why something is so expensive, almost apologizing. Not meaning to, trying to be kind. I think it's with kindness. I think people do it with love and they're trying to, but like over justifying things like, thank you so much to all the parents for understanding that this concert fee is this amount. Obviously, there's a lot that goes into the day. It's our staff. It's our blah, 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 blah. We know that it's a lot of money, and so therefore we've split it up into 3 payments of blah, blah, blah. You're just confusing the shit out of everybody, right?
Well, you're also convincing them of things.
You're also putting the idea in their head.
You're convincing them that this is a lot of money. That's the first thing. You're convincing them that they need to be able to pay it off. You're convincing them that the day is going to be probably crazy because has to be so many. Like, you're just telling them, you're
all those
putting
things.
stressful stuff in their head.
Absolutely. And I think that it's really important that we, really sell the benefits and talk about the experience, not the cost. Like, this is an incredible day that your child's going to remember for the rest of their life. I remember my concerts when I was 6, and it was such a huge memory. I wonder if you parents have, a memory of your dance concerts if you danced growing up, or perhaps it was your football grand final, or your, like telling it as a story, because every parent would relate to some sort of a story around that, whether it was the football grand final, their dance concert, and how special a day it was and how they have those memories as an adult.
Yep.
So talk about that.
Yep.
Not about the $80 performer fee. Like, no one wants to hear that. Like, yes, there's costs. We've got to write it somewhere. Absolutely. But let's talk about the experience.
Yep. Love it. I want to ask all of our listeners out there, have you recently in the last 2 years been to a dance concert? Not your own dance concert, somebody else's dance concert, because that is probably the biggest eye-opening experience I think I've ever had.
Yes.
And I have been to quite a few because, my nephew dances.
Yep.
We've had kids in Tim's kids live quite far away, so they were at another dance studio.
Yep.
And so it's really interesting. So the first thing that I noticed was one of the concerts I went to was way too long. Like, I think it started at 7 and finished at 11:30. No, maybe even longer than that. 6 to 11:30. It was like 4.5 hours of
way
concert.
too long. Yeah.
Like, by the end of the first half, I was so over it. And I love dance.
Yes.
And I love dance concerts.
Yes.
And it was really cleverly put together, and themed and beautiful costumes and, great performing. There was nothing bad about it, but it was way too long. Like, I even get bored sometimes in musicals if they're too long.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Because we have short attention spans. You mentioned it at the start. Absolutely. And so I think it's so important to think about that experience when you're an audience member, and then how your families feel.
Yeah.
And what kind of experience you're creating, right?
And even things like how long they have to wait to get into the theatre. I'd never thought about that before.
Yes.
How hard it is to park.
The parking's a big thing.
Yes. Standing in a line to sign someone out at the end of a concert when you've been there for 4.5 hours.
Because you were there an hour before, and like, what are you doing in that hour before when you dropped your kid off? I think that's a big thing. Like, what are your parents doing once they drop the kid off?
Yeah.
And then they have to watch the show, then they have to hang around again, and the sign out process. It's a killer. And that's the lasting impression you leave them with. So how can you make that experience so incredible for them? And I think it's such an important thing to think about. And, there's not look, I do have some magic ways, but, I do think that there's not a one-size-fits-all approach to it, because it's going to depend on so many things. But you've really got to think about the experience from the parent's point of view, and selling it as an experience, not just this is everything we've got to do and it's just all like a job, right?
And I really encourage all of you to go and watch a concert this year. Just try and get to some sort of a dance concert and just feel it. If you've got friends in the industry, go and watch each other's concert and give each other feedback on it. Because I think that's the best way. Like, you don't know what you don't know. And when you're stuck in the theatre, you don't see what's going on out there or what happens with that stuff.
And it's such an interesting thing because, I went to a couple of concerts and the feedback I gave wasn't on the dancing.
No.
It wasn't actually about the choreography. It wasn't about the costumes. It was about the flow of the concert, what it was like you said, lining up, parking, being there on time, knowing where to go, where to enter the theatre, how to get backstage. It was those kind of things. It was the awards at the end. It was, don't get me started on awards at the end. It was the thank yous to the teachers. It was the videos in between. It's those things that I think so many of us can do work on rather than just the choreography and the costumes, because most of us do that great, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I think going and actually watching it, and then also just thinking about the parent experience.
Absolutely.
And I think if you're a studio owner who's not a parent yet, I never thought about that.
Yes.
Ever. Never thought about the parent experience until I had a child doing it, and then you realise the parent experience. But even then, there's times when I haven't changed things. Even though I knew it was really inconvenient and not fun for me, I still didn't change it necessarily. And I just think we have to think smarter about that stuff. How can we make that experience amazing for our parents?
Absolutely. So really start thinking about your concert now, thinking about it as a retention exercise, a marketing exercise, a profit-driven exercise, not just a, hey, look at my awesome choreography
and
kind of
great
thing.
Concepts and themes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Hopefully we gave you some things to work on today and some things to think about. We'd love to hear your thoughts on it. If there's anything that kind of resonates with you and you're like, oh my God, yes, I need to think about this. It means the world when you drop us a message, right, Beck?
Sure does. So great to chat to you all again, and we'll see you all next week. Bye. Thanks, friends. Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Dance Principles United podcast. If you'd love to learn more from us, we have a special offer just for our podcast listeners. Go to the link in the show notes right now to get 2 weeks free in Dance Principles United Tribe. We would love to see you there.